Algorithms, right. They're everywhere these days. AI writing emails, setting up your playlists, even telling you when your coffee's ready.
It's amazing.
It is. But it makes you wonder, what happens when we start talking about AI on the battlefield?
Yeah,
That's what we're diving into today, the whole world of AI warfare. And let me tell you, just looking at the research, this is some next-level stuff.
it's a bit unnerving when you really start thinking about it.
No kidding. I mean, we've got reports on AI analyzing battlefield data as it happens, giving soldiers this, like, almost superhuman awareness.
Right, like that example in this report, spotting a sniper because the AI picks up the heat from a rifle being cleaned.
Exactly. Or how about AI coordinating whole groups of drones, like with insane precision, stuff humans just can't do?
It's that speed, Humans are good, but AI can react so much faster. Imagine a drone swarm laying down cover fire, taking out targets, all while adjusting to whatever's happening around it. Seamlessly.
Okay, now that sounds like a movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Incredible, but kind of scary too, right?
Yeah. It does blur the lines, that's for sure. And that's where it gets really interesting. I mean, some of these analyses are saying AI could actually change what warfare even means. We might not even be talking about traditional battle lines anymore.
So less boots on the ground, more like algorithms making the decisions from some data center somewhere.
Yeah, in a way. But then how do things like the Geneva Conventions even work in that world? They were written for a very different kind of fighting.
Right, like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly. I mean, what happens when AI is fighting 24/7 in cyberspace, attacking infrastructure? You can't just point to a soldier and say they broke the rules.
So then we have to talk about the ethics of it all.
Huge ethical questions. Can we, should we, trust algorithms to be making life or death decisions? And if we do, how do we know they're making the right ones? Decisions that actually line up with, basic human values.
Yeah, it's a lot to get your head around. It's like we've got this technology racing ahead, and the ethics, the laws, they're stuck trying to catch up.
It reminds me of other times this happened in history, like when we invented the airplane.
Oh, right, I see what you mean. Suddenly, war wasn't just on the ground anymore. You had these dogfights, bombing from the sky.
And it changed everything. Just like the airplane changed how we thought about where war happens, AI could change what war even is.
So not just better weapons, but a whole different idea of conflict. Right?
Exactly. There's this one article we have that makes that point so well. It's like, with AI looking at all this data, seeing patterns, it's saying future wars might be won before a single shot is even fired.
Hold on, seriously.
Hmm.
You're saying algorithms could be out there, like shutting down economies, messing with elections, all without a real army going anywhere.
It's possible. And then how do you even say who's to blame?
Exactly. If some AI causes a blackout in, I don't know, Paris, but it was sent from some computer who knows where, who's responsible?
It's a huge gray area. And that's exactly why we need to be talking about this now. We need rules for AI and war, not just the how, but the who and the why behind it all.
So what do we do? Put the brakes on all AI research. Just hope for the best.
I don't think that's realistic. It's moving too fast globally. Like trying to stuff toothpaste back into the tube, you know?
Okay, so no stopping it. We're not surrendering to our robot overlords either, I hope.
Let's not get carried away.
Fair enough. But seriously, what's the answer then? If we can't stop it, can't give in.
We guide it. We make sure AI is used to help humanity, not hurt it. It's a tool. That's all it is. And like any tool, it depends on the person using it.
I get that, but how do we actually do that? Especially with something as, destructive as war.
Several things, really. We need research that focuses on transparency. On AI, we can actually understand. We need countries to work together, set rules for how AI is used in war.
So instead of an arms race, it's a, responsibility race.
Exactly. It's not about who has the strongest AI, but who uses it the right way.
Big change in how we see things.
For sure. And it needs everyone on board. Governments, tech people, even everyday people need to be part of this.
An AI responsibility race. Okay, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
But how do we actually make it happen? I mean, it feels like such a huge issue. Where do we even start?
It's definitely a challenge, no question. But I don't think it's impossible. One thing we could do is build ethics into AI from the beginning. So like from the first design all the way to when it's actually being used, ethics is part of the process.
So it's not just an afterthought. It's like baked in from the start.
Exactly. And it's not just about stopping the really bad stuff either. We've got to look at bias too. The AI might be working fine, but making decisions based on data that's, well, skewed somehow.
Like, can you give me an example? How would that even happen?
Sure. Imagine an AI, its job is to look at satellite pictures and find enemy targets. Sounds simple enough, right? But what if the information it learned from the training data, it was focused too much on certain kinds of buildings or what people were doing in those
So it
pictures?
might see, like, a school or a hospital
Huh?
and think it's a military target
Mm,
just because of what it learned before.
exactly. And that's just one tiny example. The point is, the data we feed these AI systems, that's crucial because that's what their decisions are based on. And in war, those decisions have real consequences.
Garbage in, garbage out, right? Like they say in computer
And
science.
in this case, the garbage out could be, well, terrifying.
So, okay, we need to build AI the right way. What else? What needs to happen to make this responsibility race real?
Countries have to work together. We need rules about AI and war that everyone agrees on, like international treaties,
Yep.
similar to what we have for chemical weapons, things like that.
Though those aren't perfect either, right? We've seen countries break those agreements before.
True, but even an imperfect agreement, it sets a standard. It says, this is not okay, and it creates a way to hold countries accountable. It's a place to start.
So, building AI responsibly, making sure ethics is part of it all, and then getting global agreement on how it's used in war. That's the goal.
It's a huge task, absolutely. But we can't afford to ignore it. How we handle AI in warfare may be the most important thing we do in the next few decades. It's not just about technology, it's about humanity's future.
Wow. Okay, a lot to think about. This whole deep dive into AI and war, it's been pretty intense, honestly, but important. And it's not just for the tech people or politicians to figure out. It's on all of us. What does it mean if machines are making life and death choices? How do we make sure those machines reflect our values, that they do more good than harm? Big questions, for sure. But as AI keeps changing the world, we've got to keep asking them. If you found this interesting, don't stop here. Keep learning, keep talking about it, because what we do today will shape the world we live in tomorrow.